Um, oh, that looks interesting. I'll have to check that video out later. Hold on, let me make sure I got the sound off. All right. So, it looks like Shantel lost her goddamn mind this morning. um, it's one thing if like first of all, I was watching Yaba's live stream this morning and I didn't see anything particularly different from other reaction channels that cover content creators. It I don't think she said anything off the charts that would have been a break in terms of service or anything like that. It, but the rage post that Chantel put up on her community tab says way more about her. Says way more about you, Chantel, than it does about Yaba. You came after her with homophobia. You came after her kids again. I mean, like, and there was just so much anger behind what you wrote there. It wasn't just a criticism of watching her live stream and saying, well, I disagree with this, and I don't like how she presents herself in this way, or I don't like her avatar, whatever it is, because that's what React channels do. They go through and talk about what they're watching, right? And have some commentary about it. But what Chantel wrote on her community post this morning during Yava's live stream, it was a direct threat, like during the live stream, was just filled with anger and hate. And it had no value to her channel whatsoever, other than to say, I'm a threatening bully who will come after you. That was all we got out of that. Was I'm gonna make fun of you for being a gay woman. I'm going to make fun of your kids. I'm going to and you got that so concisely laid out, like so quick. How can you be this angry? So I mean, like, aren't there other things that you should be worried about, like the fact that your blood sugar is so high? Shouldn't you be worried about other things than whether or not Yaba is doing her daily live stream, which she does daily, you guys? Um, it used to start at 5:30. Now it's 6 to 8, at least Pacific Standard Time or daylight. What are we daylight savings time or are we standard time right now? But it was just so ugly. It was such an ugly, ugly thing to write. And I don't know if she's deleted it yet, but I know that a lot of people have reported it because it was a direct threat to try and shut her channel down. It was homophobic, so it was hate speech. And it just was off the charts bad to do that. And it was obviously not thought out. This was like, I'm really mad and I need to write something down right now because I'm so mad, right? Um, it's just kind of another demonstration of how childish childlike Shantel is. That she still has like the emotional range of a junior high kid. That she has not advanced at all. And we see that a lot with her interactions with Salah as well. The two of them are very immature. And that's a lot of what we get from the reaction channels is that they feel very awkward together. They behave like children. Um, that those are realistic criticisms. The kind of criticisms that she's throwing back in her rage are just hate. It's just hate speech, Chantal. It's mean spirited hate speech. So that was ugly this morning. I hope that you'll rethink having that up because you know that doing the same thing to Kalari a couple months ago got you a strike as well. So I don't know if you've already gotten a strike for this one, but I wouldn't be surprised. And oh, the irony, right? I don't know why you're coming after Yaba. How is she any different than the other reactors? Are you just going to come after every reactor? Do you think that that will somehow make your channel more successful if other channels are not talking about your material at all? If we're not talking about it, then how is that going to help your algorithms? Right? So you're going to go after Sin and Sass? You're going to go after Rose Thorn Reacts? You're going to go after Are You Serious? Are you going to go after everybody? Why? 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 Does it make sense to do that? I mean, I would just, you know, good morning, Lee. How are you? I there's like 3 different channels out there that have made some really hateful content about me. And I generally just don't talk about them. I report them, sure, but I don't talk about them because like, what's the point of doing that? Like, what am I going to go on to my community tab and say, this person and that person? And then I'm just basically directing everybody to go look at their channels, right? Is that what you really want? Like, if you're unhappy with what they're saying about you, I'm good and good on you. It's none of my business what other people think about me. Well, I mean, it's just not something that you can really control. Unless you are really rich and can afford, like, an attorney to go after them for defamation. But that's super expensive. You need at least a $10,000 retainer here in California to do something like that. Yeah, exactly. Ignore it like a boss. Because rise above, right? Rise above. Um, because that shouldn't be your content, is um, complaining about these channels that are tearing you apart, right? I can't. I've had a channel that's been coming after me since 2021, and I did actually say something in one of my more recent live streams. Just basically, you keep doing this, I'm going to keep reporting your channel. But I did not say his screen name. I did not say his real name. I just told him, leave me the fuck alone or I'm going to keep reporting you, you know? Um, because he had basically, all of his videos are the same. Um, he basically uh, believes that everybody online is part of the deep state. They're all COINTELPRO. They're all part of the deep state. Everybody's scripted, and everybody's a Karen too. He can find a Karen video on anybody that just has a slight resemblance to somebody, and makes it all about that person, right? So that guy's been coming after me since 2021. I did say something about it, but I did not name him. I did not name his channel. And but I know he watches me. So I said something. I said, "You keep doing this bullshit and I'm going to report your channel." You know? Um I think he does have some mental health conditions, Lee. Actually, I think he's actually stated that he does. That he believes he's like autistic or something like that. I really don't know. Because the only time I watch is when I know that he's covered me in a video and is, spreading defamation about me. But that's not comparable to what Shantel did today to threaten Yaba. Yaba has a daily show where she will cover like Amber Lynn, she'll cover Shantel, she'll cover she Jesse. What's Shantel done? She put up a community post threatening Yaba, and it's homophobic, and she brings the kids up again, and it's really ugly. And she did this within like the last 20 minutes of Yaba's live stream this morning. So Yaba wrapped it up a little early just so she didn't get like a strike right in the middle of like her live stream. Because that happened recently. I want to say it was like a few weeks ago where I was watching one of Yaba's live streams and she got shut down like in the middle of live streaming when she was talking about another um I can't remember. I think it's the one who I can't remember her name because I've never really seen any of her videos, but it's the one that apparently fell asleep on live stream and was snoring, and so they've used, I don't know who created, I guess Lindsay did this, right? Created an overlay of Chantel on the quad runner when she was out in the desert, with the snoring sound. And pretty much all the channels have been using it. This video that Lindsay created. But I don't really know anything about this woman who apparently fell asleep and um, had her voice overtaken basically for this. I've never seen her channel. It is pretty funny. French Fried Girl usually plays it at the end of all of her lives. Well, there's at least one post. I haven't like circled back to see if like she's still raging at this point, but she really should be rethinking doing this because she is still on her, I think, second strike through next week, like the 20th, or no, I guess it goes through June 26th, maybe. Good morning, Clara. It's like, I think it's like June 26th or something, because she got that strike for writing a community post against Kalari right before her birthday, which was March 28th. So that was somewhere around the 26th. Okay, well, you seem cool too, Lee. You can definitely like replay this after it's done. I'm not going to be on for too long because I do have some things I need to. I'm basically just waiting for the coastal eddy to burn off so that I can get out and do some things today because I can't do it if it's this cold. I can't go out if it's in the 60s. I have to wait until it warms up to like 70, and that'll probably be somewhere around 11 or noon. So that's when I'll get out and I'll start doing some things. But yeah, she's really not using her noodle, you know. Is it it's cold in England too? Isn't it always cold in England? I don't know. I mean, I've never been there before, but I have some friends that live out there. Isn't it like always kind of cold and gray? Um, it's going to get better here over the next couple of months, but um, Clara, Chantel's rage is so intense. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, there's like one main drag in my town, and so every single day I have fire trucks and paramedics and stuff going up and down this one main drag. And oftentimes they come right into my own community, my condo community. I I don't know if you guys saw my live stream yesterday. Chantel isn't happy. She literally has a fake marriage, and yeah, that was one of the things she said too. So she's a ticking time bomb, lashing out. She said that Yaba had a fake marriage in that post, right? And that's because that was her homophobia coming out, right? Because Yaba and Sam just got married earlier this year, and gay marriage is legal in the States. But that horrid person, um, I just did a stream yesterday about like talking about a friend of mine who kind of went through a similar arc of becoming an evangelical and starting to adopt hateful ideas and becoming homophobic and um, being against a woman's right to choose, and like she just started picking up all these ideas that were so hateful that it ended our friendship. Like I was out. I couldn't be there anymore for that. Um, and they're both French speakers, and they're both obese. They both have the same issues kind of going on there. And they're both married to dudes who need papers. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know. Happy Friday, Dan. I would love to see pics of her as a teen just to see the change. Jesse, if you look at Mr. Snowflake's channel, episode one has of the series he's doing on Foodie Beauty has some pics of her in high school. She actually looked, I mean, she was a little pudgy, but Um, she looked pretty in the picture, at least. I don't know. So I don't know where all of her mental issues come from, like all of this anger and rage and the she definitely needs to like get some therapy, especially like for like anger management and for the fact that she's doing all this stress eating and she's really hurting herself, you know, but in the process she's trying to vent, lash out and throw some of her pain out at other people, you know. I've seen some pics. Chantel as a teen kind of looked like if Ina Garten had a daughter. Not bad looking. Yeah, I didn't think I mean, had she not fallen down this terrible health arc of overeating, she could have been a knockout as an adult, you know? Where could it have begun? Well, I don't know exactly where it began because she was already overweight when she was with BB. And that was when she first started to live stream, right? BB, you seem so sweet. Glad I found you in Girl World. Really agree. She's out of control and needs help. Well, thank you for coming to my channel and dropping by. I hope that you visit me again. Keep coming back. Clara, if she had got her shit together, she could have looked like Carney Wilson. Similar face. Totally. The thing is that she has just destroyed her body, right? And but she was already overweight when she was with BB. You know, she wasn't like as bad as she is now, but she certainly was already overweight. She was already like sneaking meals when, you know, trying to she's always been like sneaking meals, right? So, I will hope you're well. I'm doing all right, BB. I'm waiting for the sun to burn through the clouds so I can get out and do some things today. Um, she, I think it really got bad after she broke up with BB. She's living with Pete in the villa, and she was so desperate to find a man, right? Like she had to find a man, so she's using like Tinder and stuff to pick up on guys, and just that was, I think, the biggest and first indicator that there was something wrong with, like, she wasn't balanced. There was something way off at that point that she needed to constantly find dudes like that. I mean, I don't, nobody in my life is like that. Like, I've never been that desperate. None of the girls that I know growing up or even in my adult life have been like that. So I'm very confused why um, she needed that satisfaction like that. Um, Nobody had brought this up yet, but I wonder if she has Prader-Willi syndrome undiagnosed. You know, actually, I have seen some people bring that up, and when they've talked about it, they've basically said that um, she couldn't possibly have it because this is a condition, from what I've seen online, where they cannot stop eating, Like, from what she's described, she eats like every 2 hours. But this is the Prader Willi syndrome is you don't stop. So like when you have kids that have this syndrome, you have to lock every cabinet and your fridge to prevent them from eating because they just won't stop. Period. And they'll be up all night. They'll do it all day. And so you have to monitor the situation very closely so that they're only eating at meal times, right? I don't think she has that because otherwise she would have basically already eaten herself to death, you know? Maybe Clara, but honestly, I think she's just lost care for life itself, hence being happy with fake love. I have felt bad for her at times, but at the time, she is so aggressive and rude. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing as an adult version because, I mean, I'm not a mental health professional, so I really don't know. And every one of the channels that I saw this discussed on, they preempted the discussion with, I'm not a mental health professional, you know? So I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, the animal abuse is very concerning because that's like I said, I'm not a mental health professional, but it's an indicator of um like sociopathic or psychopathic type behavior to be an animal abuser. And she was doing that as recently as like a day or two ago, right? When they had Howie and Julia, and obviously Salah does it too. So she's also with, and Pete's did it, right? To Tim, what was the cat's name? Bad, Tim something? I don't know. Um, but how do you, okay, like, how do you end up with so many people that are animal abusers? Like, w- what is, how do you attract such evil people into your life? You know what I mean? Like, how do you, how is that, like, what happens? I mean, look, obviously, we've all had various relationships in our lives where it didn't work out and, we had a breakup or whatever. But I cannot say that I've ever been with anybody as horrible as the people she's been with, especially Natter. Oh my God. That last episode from Mr. Snowflake, that was scary. Um, we'll have to see what happens with the court case uh, against him for SA. I have to see what happens there because that looks terrifying. And it was a 70-year-old woman, I think. Holy shit. My goodness. Yeah, it's all very dark, really. It's a shame if she lost weight and mentally grew up a tad. Her channel and life could be good. She could successfully, I think, if she actually, decided to do it because she needs to decide to do it. She could probably lose 100 pounds in like a year because you kind of start out fast, right? When you're losing weight, and then it starts to plateau as you go down. But she could probably lose about 100 pounds, and that would be enough to even, it's not enough to like solve her health problems, but it would be enough to actually make her look better because she looks terrible, you know? And she's constantly using those filters, and she looks horrible. I've never seen anybody with such huge ass cheeks like that. And that's with the slimming filter on, you know? It's I've never seen anything like it. I've seen a lot of big people in my time, all right? But yeah, totally anything better than now. I mean, like it would be a slow journey to actually get down to. I think she mentioned this on her own live the other day that she's 5 feet tall. And so a healthy body weight for her would be somewhere between 95 and 105 pounds. That's a healthy body weight for her. Um, I hope that she can get below 200 before she dies, because all of her organs are failing at this point. It's scary to watch. But the hate, that's got to be really stressful on her body as well. Just constantly hating and raging, and she really should stop watching the React channels and just focus on her own stuff. Because um I mean, she could get a little bit of feedback from the React channels and be like, okay, they didn't believe this, they didn't believe that. Well, stop lying, girl. Stop lying about stuff. And, focus on real things, Focus on real things. So, anyways, Friday. Thank God it's Friday, you guys. Could she be put in a medically induced coma to force weight loss? I have no idea. I have no idea if that's like something that can be done. I don't think it's going to be medically induced though if she keeps up what she's doing. She's going to be in a diabetic coma pretty soon, with blood sugars at 24. And she's like, "Oh, the what is it called? A glucometer or something like that isn't working." Oh, really? Because I read 5 for Salah. It read 5 for Salah, so obviously it is working. And between the readings and her alleged trip to the urgent clinic, she said she took a 2-hour nap and she took one of her pills, right? So, of course, you would expect that her next reading would be less, and that's where she landed. She was like 16.7 or something like that, according to whatever that paper is that she showed that didn't have a date, it didn't include her weight, it didn't make any sense. I just think prison or coma is the only way she will not get maintenance. Well, prison might be a reality because the Kuwaiti government just got overturned, right? And there's basically a dictator in place now. And that's why there's been a lot of conversations about residency and asking people to leave by the 17th if they don't want to have to pay fines or face consequences. And she basically scoffed at that and decided it doesn't apply to her. I mean, but at the same time, she keeps going to different clinics because she doesn't want to have like medical records in one place where they can actually trace it and see that she's been actually seeking medical care there for a long ass time, right? She has no business in that country, period. She has no business being there. So she needs to figure it out, right? If she wants to stay there, she needs to figure out how. How can she stay there? Canadian prison might be the best, worst lifestyle change for her. The thing is, I don't think it's going to be Canadian prison. It's going to be Kuwaiti prison, and I've not heard good things about Kuwaiti prisons. So, um, because basically, if she's found guilty of doing anything, like against the immigration laws or whatever, she would have to serve her sentence in Kuwait before then being deported to Canada. But she would have to do the time in Kuwait, as far as I know. I mean, I think that's how most countries work, is that you have to serve your time in the country where the crime was committed, and then you get deported. I just wouldn't even be there. How scary it all sounds. Yeah, I know, because there's also like a war going on between Israel and Iran. So that's like on both sides of the country right now, and you now have a dictator in place in Kuwait, and it's becoming more and more unstable in the Middle East right now. So the only thing I can think of is that she's so broke that she can't afford to go back yet. She's waiting for the June paycheck, which is also going to be the last like 3 months in a row. She's missed so many days that her paychecks are probably pretty low, you know? And if you saw her live stream or coverage of her live stream from like any of the React channels yesterday, when she supposedly went to the clinic, they stopped at the bank first to withdraw money because they're paying out of pocket, you guys. They're paying cash for that health care. You know what I always thought was super weird? She implies she only has one hijab. One. They're so cheap. Why does she just have one costume? Um, I know. I don't know why. I don't know. I have no idea. I've been saying a lot lately that she needs to take off that Darth Vader gown and start wearing some summer clothes because, like, she's going to overheat her body. She's keeping the apartment at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's why she doesn't ever want to leave because it's like a refrigerator in there, which I would think that'd be really uncomfortable too. But if you're wearing so many layers of clothes, maybe that's the only way you can do it. Who knows? I don't know why she's so ashamed of her body at this point because she certainly wasn't in previous years. It seems that during her time with Salah, she has become very ashamed of her body. The way she dresses is the biggest lie. Yeah, because she doesn't want you to see her neck. Because she's got all the fat rolls on her neck and stuff. She doesn't want you to see her hair because she's been balding, right? She doesn't want you to see anything. And these are things that she didn't used to be ashamed of. She was fine with it. She shaved her head on alive, you know? She would have her ass hanging out and, like do nudes and stuff. She really didn't have a problem with her body until she met Salah. So I don't see how he's a good influence at all on her, especially with his weird perverted fetishes, you know. Um, and she's becoming hateful, incredibly hateful. So that community post was just disgusting. And she did it right in the middle, like the end, like the last 20 minutes of Yaba's live stream. It was absolutely intended to be like a verbal punch against her, And wearing all that polyester, yeah. Let me tell you, as someone in the fashion industry, she is basically wrapping herself in plastic every day. I can't even imagine. Like, no linen or cotton. Insane. I know. Is that, I mean, I just, and she keeps like buying new clothes and stuff, and the clothes all look like stuff that you'd wear in the winter in Canada. Like, what are you doing? Why, why are you buying sweaters, girlfriend? It's, uh, you live in a desert. Crazy, you guys. We're beach girls. We know this. I know. Um, she didn't used to be afraid of or ashamed of her body, Clara. This is something that came with Salah. Now she's ashamed of her body. It's really sad, you know? She should take more pride in herself and stop worrying about the reactors and start worrying more about her own health problems and her toxic relationship with this dude who she calls her husband, right? Anywho, with that, I got loud trucks all over the neighborhood today. I am going to wrap it up and have some breakfast. So she just wants to disappear. Also subscribe so I can't miss you again. Keep being awesome. Thank you, BB. She would look and feel much better in linen tunica and caftans. Hope she sees this. She definitely watches my live streams. Sometimes she comments on them with sock accounts. Tells me I shouldn't be smoking, you know, things like that. She likes to drop in and be a bit of a troll occasionally. So anyway, have a nice weekend, everybody. If I see anything good to react to, I'll drop a video later. But in the meantime, enjoy your weekend. Take care.